Hello everyone, this is 𝗗𝗏 and I hope all of you are doing great. All of you are preparing for your October, November, December or whichever test you guys are planning for. Your preparations are in the flow, in the swing. Today in this video, I am going to talk about time management on the reading and writing part of the SAT. Now, many students, they come up to me and they talk about their problems about time management, and it is really an issue. Because, someone who has done all the concepts, someone who understands all the concepts, and, he or she knows how to go about the paper. And, just because of time or not properly managing the time, if he or she fails to complete the paper, or if he or she, cannot go on with the paper, it is obviously a shame, right? It is a big problem. So, in order to, maximize your score on the reading and writing part, along with understanding all the concepts and along with understanding all the different parts of the paper, it is very important that you also understand the time management strategies, right? Because only if you manage the time properly on the test, will you be able to, complete the test on time and maximize or leverage the score the most, right? So today, because, there are different types of questions on the reading and writing part. Some may require, more time, some may require less time. So we have to see how we have to invest our time, how we have to invest our energy on the paper in a way, in a fashion that we can, maximize our score, like I said before. So today, first let's see how many questions we have. So when you talk about the reading and writing part, so we have a total of, as you all might already know, we have a total of 54 questions. And for these 54 questions, we have 62 minutes. Now, if you go for time per question, we have approximately 70 seconds. We have 70 seconds per question, right? So 70 seconds per question. That means that whether you have a detailed, lengthy questions like, the cross-text connection, or you have a lengthy claim question, or you have a simple words in context question, or a question that is relatively shorter, you have 70 seconds for all of these questions. Now, there is a problem. The problem is that some of the questions would want more than 70 seconds, and many of the questions can be solved in less than 70 seconds. So how can we, balance this out in a way that we can, solve these questions within the time we have, right? Because if you invest 70 seconds on every question, chances are that you will end up not completing your paper, because some of the questions do really need more than 70 seconds. So in this video, I'm going to tell you how you can do that. Now, according to my opinion, what my take is on this is that 50% of the paper can be easily solved. 50% of the paper can be easily solved under 30 seconds. So the questions, or 50% of the questions in the paper, can be solved under 30 seconds or total in 30 seconds, right? First, let's talk about or identify what are those question types, right? So the questions that you can solve under 30 seconds. And I have a separate video on this as well. I'll share the link of that video in description today, where I have solved these questions, in 30 seconds, so that you can understand that it's not that difficult. It is really possible to solve those questions in 30 seconds. It's not just something that I'm telling you or claiming just like that, right? So what are those question types? So the first question type is the standard English conventions, right? These are the questions that you can easily do within 30 seconds or maybe 35 seconds. Now, since this is 26% of the paper, you can expect around 15 questions maybe from this section, right? The second part that you can solve under 30 seconds or in 30 seconds is the expression of ideas. Now again, because this is 20% of the entire paper, you can expect around 9 to 10 questions from this section as well, right? And the third part that you can do under 30 seconds is the words in context part, right? Which is obviously a part of craft and structure. And you can, expect around 7 to 8 questions from this as well. So in totality, if you look at it, there are around 30 questions that, according to my take, you can solve in 30 or maybe 40 seconds at max. Because there may be some students who will be like, we are not so good with grammar, we are not so good with transitions as well, we need practice on that as well. Even then, if you have a good vocabulary, if you have worked on your grammar rules, and if you know the transition words well, and if you know how to connect those sentences, you can solve these questions in 30 to 40 seconds easily. Now, this is where you have to concentrate and focus. Now, if you solve these questions in 30 seconds or 40 seconds, now let's assume if you solve them in 30 seconds, right, you will save around 40 seconds per question. And if you solve them in 40 seconds, you will still save 30 seconds per question. So that would mean that solving them in 30 seconds will get you 1200 extra seconds, right? And solving them in 40 seconds, right, even in 40 seconds, will give you extra 900 seconds, right? Now, if you have solved around 30 questions already, how many questions are you left with? Now you are left with 24 questions. These 24 questions are the difficult ones. They will have the claim questions, they will have the inference questions, they will have the graph questions, they will have the central idea questions, they will have the cross-text connection questions, the purpose questions, all of those questions that require reading and that may require time more than 70 seconds, right? Now, if you solve these questions first, if you identify and you solve these 3 question types first, right? And in the time that I am suggesting, that means that you have already solved around 50 to 60% of your paper and you're left with 1200 or 900 seconds depending on how much time you have taken to solve these questions in addition to the time you already have for these questions. Now what that means is for every of these 24 questions, right, you will either have, if you have solved, if you have 1200 seconds left, or if you have solved these 3 question types in 30 seconds, you will have an addition of 50 seconds. And if you have solved these questions even in 40 seconds, even then you will have an addition of around 37 seconds. Now, how can this help you? Now, because you already have those 70 seconds, they are in their place, right? The 70 seconds are there. In addition to those 70 seconds, you have these 50 or 37 seconds, depending on how much time you have taken to solve these 3 mentioned questions. Now, how you should go about it? So first you start the paper, you identify these 3 question types, you solve them first, try to solve them in 30 to 40 seconds, save this time 900 to 1200 seconds. If you do that, you will save around 37 to 50 seconds for every question that is left of the 24 questions, right? And obviously this is approximate. It may go a little up and down, but somewhat it will be these numbers. So the benefit that you will get from this is now the extra time that you have saved, you can invest these 37 to 50 seconds in reading, and you can invest the original 70 seconds that you had for solving these questions. You can use that time to actually just solving and understanding the options and getting to the right answer, right? It gets really overwhelming when we ask the students to read those lengthy passages and solve those and get to the right answer, all of this within 70 seconds. So if you want to do that, now this will give you 2 benefits. Firstly, you will solve 50% of the paper in lesser amount of time. That will boost your confidence as well. And secondly, you will have time for solving these difficult or harder questions as well, right? So you will solve your paper, you will complete your paper in time, and the effectiveness of solving the paper will also increase. You will get a higher score because when you will invest more time on the lengthy questions, chances are that you will get them right as well. And when you will go prepared for these 3 type of questions and you will solve them if you are solving them in less amount of time, chances are that you understood them. That is why you are taking less amount of time to solve them, right? So work hard on your grammar questions, work hard on the standard English convention questions, work hard on the transition questions, and just make sure you have a solid vocabulary foundation so that you can work on the vocabulary words in context questions as well. And if you do that, and if you can solve them within the time frame that I have told you, you can, complete that and get an extra 37 to 50 seconds for every question that is left, for every lengthy question that is left, right? So that is how you can go about it. If you can, follow this strategy, you will have time for every question in the paper and you will complete it in time, right? So this is the best hack, or this is the best way to utilize all of your time on the reading and writing section. I wish you guys best of luck, and I'll be, making more videos to help you guys out. Thank you so much.